Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the Curious You podcast. I'm Nina, and wow, I still can't believe I'm holding a microphone in my hand and recording my very own podcast. It feels absolutely surreal, but honestly, that is exactly why I started this in the first place to inspire you to join me in the Feeling Surreal movement. I just got back from a little family trip in Italy where we embraced the sweet art of doing nothing. We were just slowing down and soaking it all in for a few days, my family and I. But now I'm officially under attack from the gigantic pile of laundry waiting to be dealt with before we head off again, and this time for Easter holidays with our family back in our home country. But before I dive into all of that, I really wanted to record this episode because there's a topic that's been bouncing around in my head for a couple of days now, and it just had to come out before the holiday begins. So today, I wanted to dive into mindset shifts with you. These are small shifts that you can start using every day. They're small but powerful changes that can actually boost your mental well being and over time completely transform your life. Exciting, right? Okay, let's dive in. So let's start from the beginning. What is a mindset shift and why should you even care? Wow, this is a powerful one. A mindset shift is, well, on one hand, the act of getting to know yourself. And I mean, really getting to know yourself, your subconscious, your fears, your belief system, questioning your habits, your reactions, and your general way of being. And on the other hand, it's an aligning all of that with what your dream life actually looks like, that dream version of you that lives in your mind. It's a process of noticing your behavior, your patterns, your triggers, and being okay with not always being comfortable. It's a journey from point A to point B. It's from being someone who knows they're capable of more, but keeps getting stuck in a loop of self criticism and judgment, well, of themselves and others, to becoming someone who understands why they feel that way. Someone who takes full responsibility and full accountability. And someone who's willing to sit in the discomfort of change because they know what's waiting on the other side. And that version of you, she knows what she wants. She's not trying to keep everyone around her happy because she understands that in order to create meaningful and loving relationships, she has to start with herself. And for that, she has to know herself. Let me tell you something that absolutely blew my mind. According to estimates, only 5% of your brain activity is conscious. The remaining 95, it's happening subconsciously, behind the scenes. And most of the time, we're not even aware it's happening. Let that sink in for a moment. That means what you think you know about yourself is really only the tip of the iceberg, just 5%. I mean, wouldn't you be curious to explore the rest? Wouldn't you want to understand why certain people trigger you or why your mom or dad still get under your skin sometimes? And, well, trust me, it's not about them. It never is. It's about you. Now that we know what a mindset shift is, well, in theory, let's dig into the famous question: where do I even start? Well, my friends, this is the question of the year. And honestly, the answer really depends on your individual circumstances. But there is one common thread for all of us, regardless of where we come from or what we do, and that's basic needs. Because here's the truth: if your basic needs aren't being met, it will be incredibly hard, if not impossible, to sustain any kind of mindset shift. And yet, a lot of people try to force themselves into deep personal change without really honoring their body, their biology, or the natural rhythm of life. And that's truly where things start to break down. Those people might find themselves constantly chasing progress, never feeling satisfied, or ending up in burnout. And when that happens, they look for comfort in distractions: alcohol, shopping, scrolling social media, community approval, cigarettes, and, well, even travel. One distraction after another. So, what are these basic needs that we need to pay attention to? The first and my personal favorite is called energy. Ah, the sacred energy. And trust me when I say energy is everything. It's the foundation. If you don't have energy, you won't have the fuel to do anything. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. So, I want you to start getting curious. Begin learning how your energy works, and maybe just start by asking yourself a few questions. For example, what gives me energy? What drains my energy? Where does my energy leak throughout the day? Which people take more than they give? And what can I do daily to preserve or restore my energy? Think of yourself like a battery. So you only have so much energy to give each day. So why not use it efficiently and save it for what actually matters? This brings me to the next point: distractions. This is so closely tied to energy because the more distractions you have, the less energy you'll feel. And you know what I mean. We've all been there. Endless scrolling on Instagram, reading the news we can't do anything about, binge watching Netflix, complaining about the same things on repeat. I want to invite you that after listening to this episode, to take a look at your own distractions. So, what are you doing on a daily basis that might feel like relaxation but is actually numbing? Because here's the thing: that endless scrolling you do at the end of a long day, it's not relaxation, it's distraction. It's your way of coping with emotions you maybe haven't learned to fully understand yet. And I get it, it's a hard truth. It stung me as well when I realized it. The next need is food. Well, this one's a no brainer, right? I mean, we are what we eat, we already know that. But let me ask you, how well do you really live by that? Do you still say you're not a breakfast person and just have a coffee instead? Or do you say you eat healthy but still think buying organic is a scam? Or, I don't know, maybe you eat really well, except you can't seem to kick your sweet tooth. But here's the thing: food literally speaks to your cells. Science has proven it. So if you're feeding your body low quality fuel, your body will respond. I have a cue for you: the afternoon crash. Most of us, we think that's just normal, that it's a part of life. But let me tell you, it is not. That afternoon crash is your body waving a little flag saying, hey, I need real nourishment. We've, as human beings, normalized things that are in fact not normal at all. The next one is sleep. Another obvious one. But here's a little fun fact to think about. Do you know why midnight is called midnight? Because back in the day, people were already halfway through their night's sleep by then. So they'd go to bed when the sun sets, they would wake up with the sun, and yes, with the chickens. They'd nourish their bodies with fresh food, soak in the morning light, and live in harmony with the earth's rhythm. Now, I'm not saying you need to raise chickens or move to a cabin in the woods, well, unless you want to, of course. But I'm saying that humans are meant to live in sync with nature. And in today's world, we do everything but that. So I'd really encourage you to take a look at your sleep patterns. Are you getting enough? Is it quality sleep? Are you supporting your body's natural rhythm? Because no matter how many books you read, podcasts you listen to, or goals you set, if you're exhausted, distracted, malnourished, and running on empty, you won't get far. Other basic needs also include things like: are you getting enough movement or physical activity? Do you have a sense of community in your everyday life? So it's questions like these, and I think that you understand where I'm going with this. But only after you've taken the time to assess these basic needs and made sure you're aligned with them can we really start talking about a mindset shift. It's like a building block, a foundation. You can't build a strong house on shaky ground. And the same way, you can't grow into your higher self without nurturing the basics first. That being said, one of the very first steps toward a mindset shift is simply this: to notice. So let me explain. You can't change what you don't know. So the first task is actually getting to know yourself, getting to know your subconscious mind, to understand what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what triggers you, what your core values are, what your deepest desires are. Ask yourself, what's the best version of me I can be? What's my dream job? Where would I want to live? If today were my last day, how would I spend it? Because the art of noticing and actually getting to know yourself is magical. Start small. For example, you can notice what annoys you in your partner. Then dig into that. Why does it trigger you? What is that irritation trying to teach you? Because triggers are teachers. So the next time you feel triggered, just pause, notice, reflect, and that will show you the way back to yourself, back to your inner child who probably at some point might have felt unsafe or unseen. But that version of you is still there, probably hidden somewhere in those 95% of subconscious thoughts. But also, don't just notice the hard stuff. Notice what makes you feel alive. Notice how you behave when you're truly happy and remember that feeling. Notice what lifts your energy and what drains it. Just notice it and write it down. Because this is the beginning of the most beautiful journey you'll ever take. The journey of getting to know yourself. And here's a little secret. The people who truly live a wealthy and fulfilled life, it's not because they followed a 5-step method or downloaded the right app. It's because they understood something simple but life changing. To get more from life, you have to become more. Let me say that again because it's easy to forget. To get more, you have to become more. We often want more success, more peace, more money, more love, but we don't want to change internally. And sure, I mean, you might find short term success that way, but true lasting wealth in all its forms comes from within. And that's why we're here to build our lives from the inside out. Before I go, I want to leave you with one last mind blowing fact. According to a Stanford study, the average person, listen to this, the average person has around 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those, 95% are repetitive and 75% are negative. I mean, wild, right? But here's the good news. Once you become aware of your thoughts, once you notice, you can begin to shift that statistic. So, my hope for you over the next few days is that you spend some time getting curious about yourself. Get to know your patterns, your behaviors, your thoughts. I mean, I still do it every day, and honestly, it's a never ending school, but it's a school I'll never stop attending. Wishing you all a beautiful Tuesday wherever you are. Kisses!